For the simple reason that the support that the federal government has given the states, and what I think is probably one of the most unselfish acts of one government in the federal system to another to bail them out of their financial difficulty, is greatly exceeded by the state shortfall in its revenues. If you talk to Jack Hill, he'll tell you our state revenues are down something like $3 billion a year over what they were several years ago before the downturn. $3 billion a year. All of the relief that the state of Georgia got under the Recovery Act was about $4.1 billion, far less than the 2-year shortfall the state's running and is projected to run into the future. That's some help that's dearly needed, because while there are hundreds of teachers being laid off and being furloughed across the state, there are literally tens of thousands who have not been laid off because of the fiscal stabilization money that was a principal part, a main part of the Recovery Act. Is the state of Georgia going to get well on that? No. It's not enough to cover the shortfall. But if you're down this low, and this is where you were, you get up this high, you can't see over the edge, but it's a whole lot better than you were in, and there are lots of people who are getting by, a lot of families getting by, because of what I think was a pretty unselfish act on the part of one government to another, which still has some credit, to one that ain't got no credit at all and can't borrow if it wanted to. This is trying to close the gap between state revenues and their commitments. And I'm proud to have made a commitment to do what we could to do that. But we must understand, this is not sustainable. The last point that needs to be made is the first point that needs to be made. Nothing is going to save Georgia teachers and Georgia employees like getting our economy back on track again. Because Georgia didn't get to that $3 billion a year budget beforehand, except on the growth in revenues as a result of growth in our state economy. And nothing short of that is going to provide the ongoing sustained support for the level of teachers, firefighters, and other basic government services that the state's providing. That's the ultimate answer.